Okay, hi everyone, Jim Ruddy here. Happy Christmas. I hope you've had a really good time and are enjoying the break. And best wishes for the year ahead. Let's hope it's better than 2020. It certainly can't be any worse, can it? But I've just come on very briefly now. I'll try not to stay on too long. But I'm starting a new batch of courses in January. And I've been running this course since the summer now, and it's been a 6-week course. I've now extended it to an 8-week course. It's really for year 5 and 6. Year 4 would have to be quite an advanced year 4 to keep up with the pace, I think. But 5 and 6, and it's for 11 plus, and also for Key Stage 2 preparation for SATs, and really for anyone who just wants to improve their creative writing. So I thought I'd just whiz through the course content with you. A lot of people ask me, and it's very difficult to show you. It takes quite a long emails to explain exactly what it is. So I've just put a few slides together, and this is probably the best way to show you week by week what's covered in the course. And if you're interested, then have a look. It's going to be running now on Saturday mornings as usual, but also I'm running an extra one on Friday evenings after school. A lot of people wanted to take part last year, but haven't been able because they're not available on Saturday mornings. So there'll be 2 courses, 12 pupils maximum in each one. So the dates will be going up tomorrow. Keep a lookout, and if you're interested, then sign up for it before the places are gone. Otherwise, you may have to wait another 8 weeks until the next one. So it starts off with session 1. We look at sentence openers. Very, very important. Immediate, quick way of improving just the whole sound of children's writing. The feel of it sounds a lot more mature and a lot more variety and flair with different sentence openers. I use PARCVANS to remember the different methods. It's preposition as, rhetorical question, start with a connective. You can start with a verb or an adverb, a noun and a drop-in clause, or start with a simile. There are many more. We do talk about others, but these are the main ones. And if you look here, this is one of the things we do in the course. You look, a lot of children fall into this trap of most of their sentence openers starting with pronouns or the word then or people's names constantly all the way through. And it sounds very boring, very mundane. So we look at how to incorporate PARCVANS into their writing to make it sound a lot more mature. There's a quick example of before and after. I'm not going to read them. If you're very interested, you can just push pause and have a read. And you can see the difference when you start employing the PARCVANS method. Sentence openers, it just sounds so much better. So pause and have a look if you're interested. So that's lesson 1. And lessons 2 and 3, we look at literary devices. So we're talking about SPAMO in this, which is similes, personification, alliteration, metaphor, and onomatopoeia. And again, we take each one in turn. I give lots of examples, show the children how to incorporate this into their writing, and give them lots of opportunities to practice. The lessons are, here's just one snapshot of one of the slides. There's many slides. Try to keep it quite engaging for the children. The courses are on Zoom and they're interactive. There was little tasks and tips and things for the children to do throughout the lesson. And usually, I mean, a lot of the stuff is quite generic and a lot of people are teaching it. But I like to try and think there's a few things in my course that I've created myself over the last 25 years of teaching, which make it a little bit different. So, yeah, just linking similes to TV characters and things like that. That's just one of the things we do. There's many more. There's lots and lots of notes given, lots of examples. Here's an example of one of the sheets that comes through after session 1. Just gives you loads of examples of PARCVANS and SPAMO and how to incorporate sentence openers and literary devices into your writing. I give sentences like this, paragraphs, and lots of story examples all the way through. Then we come on to week 4, which is short bursts of writing. Very important. It's not always possible to do stories every day, but the children should be doing some kind of writing every day. So I have a little game. Very simple game that I teach them. And depending how much time you have each day, they can do a 3-sentence challenge or a 4, 5, 6, 7 paragraph or story challenge using this little method I've got. I won't go into it now, it's all part of the course. But we have various visual stimuli, sometimes words or ideas and themes that we use for writing. So here you can see I've picked out 3 random PARCVANS as adjective and noun plus drop-in clause. So what you have to do is use those 3 to create 3 sentences about that picture, the lonely robot. And you can see here that one starts with a noun drop-in clause. The next sentence starts with an ly word or an adverb. And the last one starts with an as. So just very quick, and we've got an extra one there, 4-sentence challenge, a rhetorical question. So nice, simple little game. And you can just do short bursts of writing all the time. Very good, focused way of improving writing. And you can see how you can develop from a 3-4-sentence challenge up to a paragraph challenge here. This is the next step, really, where you combine the sentence openers, PARCVANS, with literary devices, spammer, and how you can combine both of those and blend those 2 ideas together to create really powerful work. You can pause and read that if you like. That's one of the things we go through. Then the next one, this is kind of a new addition to the course now, which is how to create mood in writing. Mood is very essential to children's writing, and here we look at using character and setting to create mood, because basically that's what you do. If you want to create a sad mood, very simply, you just take a sad character and you put them in a sad place. If you want to create a happy mood, you take a happy character and put them in a happy place. It's very straightforward, but a lot of children don't have that yet, and it's a very, very good way of teaching them how to incorporate mood into their work. This is not one we do in the course. This is one I just rustled up to show you. I use a few different ones, but you can see how if you want to create a scary mood, you use, well, we just had a quick brainstorm, all these different things. Look at the setting. You could have misty fog, you can have shadows, whispering trees, you can have twigs and branches reaching out like bony fingers, you can have night strangling day, all these ideas to do with the setting, the surroundings and the weather. You can personify them. And if you take these and you add them together with a character who's scared, now what would a scared character look like? Somebody who's snivelling, breathing heavily, vomiting, biting their nails, praying, tripping over, holding their breath, running, hiding, all those different things. So what would a sad character look like? And what would a sad setting look like? And if you incorporate those 2 together, well, guess what? You've created a sad mood. And it works for happy, tense, all the other different types of emotions and moods too. There's a quick example of what sort of thing we do. You mix together setting and character and you create mood. Very simple. We then look at story recipes, how we can put various elements of PARCVANS and Spammo together in a recipe, a set formula, and create different parts of a story. There's the example I use for a story opening, the perfect story opening. That's the recipe I use. We look at that. And sometimes with children who are less experienced with writing, sometimes it helps them to have this formulaic approach to writing. I'm not saying that's always a great thing. We're not trying not to dampen their creativity at all. But sometimes children need something like this to start them off. And then it's like a springboard to they create their own recipes, their own types of writing. I hope that's coming across. I know I'm rushing a bit. I don't want to waste too much of your time. Then we come on to week 6, where it's all about planning and different endings to stories. You can see here we look at happy, sad, twist, cliffhanger, and flash forward or fast forward endings, where you kind of go forward in time and see what the characters are doing a little bit further down the line. Okay, so, and what I've done here, I have a lovely story about a wolf, which I've written. All the stories I've written myself. All the resources are my own. I've written them from scratch. And what I've done is I've taken, for example, a story about a wolf, and I've written the first part, the mood and the setting and the problem. And then I've written 5 different endings to that same story to show the children exactly the different types of endings. It's easy to say to children, yeah, happy ending, write a twist ending, write a fast forward ending or a cliffhanger ending, but they don't know what it is. So I've actually written 5 different endings for the same story to show them exactly what all of these endings look like. That's probably one of my favourite lessons out of the course, actually. And lastly, week 7 and 8, I've added an extra week sort of here because this is where we put everything together. We take an idea or a plan and we go through from the planning stage through to the writing each section, editing, the whole writing process. And the children see me do that in front of them in the lesson. You can see it kind of coming together. And then they have a go at doing it themselves. And we come back and have a little talk about it and a look at how we can incorporate all the things from the course, the sentence openers, the literary devices, the story recipes, the mood, the endings, and it all comes together and culminates in these last couple of weeks. And I've got actual stories that I've written that show them how all of this can come together. And that's what my basic story plan would look like. We look at the mood, then you have a problem, try and fix it, and one of those 5 endings. And so in this lesson, for example, let's take this first section here. I go through step by step. So there's my first, that's the beginning. We do a story. It's a story about a race. So we have a plan and we take the opening, remind ourselves about the mood recipe and how we create mood, and I show them how to write the opening of a story. And then we move on and do the next step, the problem, fixing it stage by stage. And the children need to see this process in action. So that's it. The lessons are all done on Zoom. After each lesson, you are emailed copious notes and explanations about what's happened during the lesson. Then you are given homework tasks for each lesson. The homework, if you do the homework and the homework is sent back to me, whoops, that's ironic, isn't it? I've spelt the word careful incorrectly. Apologies for that. Homework is marked and careful feedback is given for each student. I'll show you an example of that. And lastly, the lessons are all recorded and made available by a special link just only for the group, made available afterwards. So you can go back and look at all these things again and again and have a chance to revisit them. Here's an example of, I've blocked it out because I don't have permission to show the work yet. So I'm just going to leave it. But this is an example of the child who sent me back their story, and I've gone through and given them pointers and feedback. That's what it looks like. Individual feedback for each piece of work. Here's the notes. So session 1, every session has you've got examples, explanations, lots of examples you can print off, loads of notes for the children for each session. Then you've got homework sheets for each session, and they're carefully crafted and linked to the content of the lesson. And lastly, and again, all my own stuff. It's all from scratch, my stuff. And I give you loads of examples each week as well. Examples of, sorry, that's slightly the wrong way around, but examples of sentences, paragraphs, and I even give you stories that I've written to show what we've been talking about during the lesson. Okay, I hope that helps. Anyone who is interested in signing their child up for these courses, just keep an eye out. Give me a private message and I can reserve your place. No problem. Anyway, all the best. I hope that helps for those of you who are interested, and Happy New Year, and bye-bye for now.